hello, and welcome back to the ITZINU Podcast. So today we are bringing you another podcast another interview where we are interviewing another member of our community. So today's interview is with Lyndall. She is a grandmother, she's a mum, she is very active, and she's just actually had a surgery. So she's coming back from surgery and trying to, so she's had 6 weeks off of exercise, and she's trying to, really make sure that she's got a good plan in place for navigating life and getting back into a good routine. Something that Lyndall struggles with is she feels like she struggles with motivation. So she struggles with feeling motivated and making sure that she's motivated to keep on moving, which I know is something that a lot of people will be able to resonate with because they may struggle with the same thing. We'll get straight into the interview. It's great to hear Lyndall's insights into setting her goals and to really making sure that she's being realistic with herself into, putting plans into place as to what she wants to achieve. So we'll pass you straight onto it. Let's get into it. What I first, thank you for your stuff. Good. But what I first wanted to ask you is what would you like to get? Like, where would you like to be? What would you like to get out of this?
Okay. I'd like to feel more motivated to go to class. Feel like I have more energy. I feel like I wake up most days and I'm pretty lethargic. And I don't know if that's because of being out of action for 6 and 7 weeks and now struggling to I'm back in it, but it's a bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
So I'd like to feel motivated, and I would like to feel more energetic. I'm not worried about look.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about look.
Yeah.
Just want to improve flexibility and strength, get back to where I felt stronger. And my shoulder is niggly but not bad. So I'd really like to try and push through it and get my arms back into better shape and improve the core. So pretty much an all-rounder, but it's not for looks wise, and it's not to change size. I don't think either. I'm okay with all that. It's just that I just want to go I want to be able to get up in the morning and go, I feel really great.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to get out of it. Yeah.
So when was the time that you got up in the morning and you felt really great?
Oh, gee, it's been a while. It's probably been a really long time because my sleep pattern isn't terrific anyway, but it has been a long time. And I think maybe when I felt like I had a little bit more time to myself. So it's been, things are busy. Things are busy. And
can you
juggling.
Remember, can you remember like an actual specific time where you woke up and you did felt
really good after we did that 1 rep max program? Felt good after that.
Yeah.
And I felt really good after, I think maybe the first challenge, which was the little black dress challenge. I felt really good after those. And I know that it was because I made an effort to go to class, and I was looking at my food and the macros were good and things were just working properly. But I feel like I lose it after either I finish it or I lose it towards the end of it.
Yeah.
I find it hard to sustain.
Yeah. So that was my next question is why do you feel like you lose it to what, like, why do you feel like, I guess the thing that I want for everybody is to always be something you can stick to forever. So what we have to work out is like, why do you feel like you always lose it at the end or the end or just after?
I think I get lazy.
Yeah.
I think I get lazy and I go back into either old habits or things just get on top and I go, oh, that'll be okay. I'll just do this today and then I'll fix it tomorrow but then it just, one day becomes another day and it doesn't improve. So I think the first couple of weeks is always really, really good. And then I start to, so I probably need to be a lot more held much more accountable. And be a bit tougher. Rather than go, okay, it's all good. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't I don't think that I'm bad in too
No.
many ways, but I know there's way more. There is room for improvement. There is room for improvement. Yeah.
But if we can look at, because obviously we're looking for the long term, but we get to a point where like we can look at, so like you're getting, so let's say something goes 8 weeks, right? I can be really good for 8 weeks. The run rep map class went for 8 weeks. The little stress was 8 weeks, right? So I need to be looking beyond that 8 weeks. So what's your what things can we put in place accountability wise? So it can be check-ins with me, it can be other things like
check-ins with you. I may have to, I don't know whether it be charting or writing stuff down all the time, like every single day, and having to make it be like if you said to me, show me what you've done, blah blah blah, even at a spur of the moment, and I know that I've got to have it, so I can't just make it up on the spot.
But where's the point of and only you can think about it and work it out, is that can all be done, but does that end up feeling overwhelming and like too much to do? Too much to do, and then you go, oh well, I failed at that too, like I failed at that too, so like it's just thinking what's going to work for your personality. So obviously just thinking about looking at this, that you feel like you're easily swayed away and that you lose the end of
momentum.
So there's some form of accountability, but I think what we need to think about and nut out between us is what's the accountability that's not going to make you feel overwhelmed, like, and not make you feel, I've got to write everything down and everything exact, and then the kids get sick and you've got to do this, and then you feel like you don't have enough time.
There has to be some leeway. Obviously, it can't be too stringent. But I don't know. I've got to try and make it a priority.
Yeah.
It's not always a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought, I know we've talked about this before, but have you ever really sat down and thought about what your why is?
Generally speaking, my why, I would think, would be to make sure that for the rest of my life, however long that it is, because I'm now in the last half of it, well and truly, that I can do everything I want to do, whether it be travel, whether it be looking after the kids, whether it be going away with girlfriends, whether it be walking up the street and just doing the local shopping. I want to be able to do that without feeling tired and sore, or I don't want to get to an age either that I fall over and then I can't recover because I'm not strong enough, or so I want to be able to maintain some strength and some mobility and some balance, all that sort of stuff, because I know that, well, I've been talking to a lot of girlfriends, and I've got a mum who's in her 70s, and I'm nowhere near my 70s yet, but they deteriorate. And once something happens, they all just suddenly just go downhill, and it's very hard to get back. But all the parents that I know, none of them have been very active. So they've just sort of plodded along, and then all of a sudden one thing happens and they've lost it. So I don't want to get to that. I want to be able to go, if I fell over, I can recover from that, or I'm ready to topple, but I can balance properly, or I just want to be able to. I want to be able to, take my grandkids for a walk. I don't want to be restricted. That's what I want. I want to be able to do anything I want to do. That's my why. Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most important, 1 being how important is that to you?
Oh, I think it's everything. It's everything, because it's a 9 or a 10, because if I don't do it, I'll be depressed. And housebound, and I don't like sitting in the house, and I'm a people person. I have to get out, so that would be a nightmare to me. So
if, with that being your 9 or 10 of important, so in order to get that, what are the things you need to do?
Right. Okay, so I have to make it a priority. I really, really do. And I've done stuff in the past, but I know now. I've had 2 people that I know recently just passed away. and they're in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Like one was a stroke in his 50s. And I think, sometimes you can't help these things.
Yeah.
But if you can alleviate a lot of issues, and I have average cholesterol. I don't have good cholesterol. I have average cholesterol. So I've got to watch that. And I have to watch my blood pressure because that's in my family is high blood pressure. So all that I have to look at. So I have to put it as a priority.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I'm only going to be here again in 6 months or 12 months time saying the same thing.
Yeah. But you have to keep reminding yourself of that. Like that's why this needs to, that's why this needs to be a priority, like be your number one. I think yes, you've just had surgery, so you've missed, 7 or so weeks. But I think before that you're very consistent with your exercise.
Oh, I do come as many times as I can during the week. Some weeks are much better than others. Some weeks I get a bit slack, and I do try. I could do more though. I really could. If I worked around things better, I could do it more. I really need to probably get food habits in line. I don't have bad food habits, but I probably should monitor and see, because I think I do okay, but maybe there are things in there that I really shouldn't or have to minimize.
Yeah. So got some things for us on that. But what I think we should look at doing is we've got to keep reminding yourself of that why, right? Whether you write it somewhere, have it in front of your face, I know you're good with your, your habits and those types of things, but the why has to be that reminder. And my why is the same as yours. Now, I did for my gran, every day that I see her, every day that I see, somebody, and I see that they can't move well, or they're hurt, they've hurt themselves. So again, it just reconfirms in my brain why that why is so important. And I think that you keep reminding yourself of that, of, speaking to your girls and hearing them say that, they've got different aches and pains and whatever else. And, that doesn't have to be you, and that's not going to be you. So I think that the first thing is reminding yourself of that and why this all needs to be a priority. The other thing is that I think we could look at the classes that you're doing and making sure you're choosing ones that are specifically towards what you're looking to achieve, that way, you really liked the 1 rep max class, those types. So the weights, so making sure that you're choosing the weighted sessions, improving your flexibility and your strength. Those afternoon sessions,
Yes, I actually am liking the afternoon sessions. I like the way it goes from a class then to the movement one, or the flexibility one, or stretching one. They're really good. The two, because you get the best of both worlds.
So you could just look at how your week pans out and be like, right, I really want to focus on these, and be like, right, I'm going to make it here, there, or plan yourself out. But and obviously know that lots of interruptions end up happening with kids and grandkids and that. But it's just trying to plan it out. Like if you plan it out a little bit as much as you can before, and you could be like, well, I need I'm going to make sure that I'm attending a minimum of this amount. And if I don't come, I guess what do you feel is that you can commit to weekly? How many would you?
I can easily do 4 classes a week. Really. And I could do a Saturday morning class. I was thinking about last week, and I just couldn't be bothered to drag myself out of bed. But I should have, because I was awake.
I
was awake, and I thought I really should have gone to class this morning. So, and then I go, and then I get disappointed because I didn't, because I know, even though I wouldn't have wanted to have gotten up and got out of bed, I know I feel good after I do it. That's the thing. So I really needed to, I should have gone. And I go, I really should have.
And I guess that feeling is what makes me get up. Is because I might and go, I can't be bothered. I'm feeling lazy, which we all feel that way. But then I go, I'm going to feel like shit after, because I'm going to wish I just got up and did it, because I'm already awake.
Yep.
I'm going to go back to sleep, or if I do, it's not going to be a proper sleep. I may as well just get up and do it and it's done. So
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think
So I have to push myself. I've got to prioritize it and push myself, and not get into lazy mode. Like I've just got to get up and do it, because I know it makes me feel better.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is that with, it's probably reframing how you're thinking about it. So this why of not wanting to, keeping up with your grandkids, not wanting to be an elderly person that can't move, wanting to be able to still travel and do these other things. Like, so if we're the thing that's going to really guide you to get there is making sure that you're doing strength training, focusing on your core flexibility. They're the things that are going to help you get there. So because, we need to remind ourselves that this is so important to me. We shouldn't feel that we have to, we don't want to keep feeling like I'm forcing myself to do it. Just reframe how we think about it, as in, this is why I'm getting up. Like, because, yes, I'm a trainer, but 9 out of 10 times I prefer not to do it as well. Like I do, but then I go, well, this isn't going to help me. It's not going to, doing it, I'm not going to get like by doing nothing, I'm going to increase my chances of being more like my grand, which I don't want to be, so I just have to get up and do it.
Maybe I've got to change my language about it. Like I don't know how your mind thinks about, I've got to get up and do exercise, instead of going, this is make me feel great to do this, and then I'm going to do this after. So I've got to retrain how I think. I think
like, because like this, like the getting up and exercising and doing is giving you putting you on that path to give longevity. And I look at my gran, and I always use her example, because it's in my face at the moment with her, but we're watching her like slowly decline, slowly die in front of our eyes, and she's going to end up bedridden soon, but she's not going to be bedridden because she's not going to be bedridden because she's broke her hip. She's going to be bedridden because of lack of movement, and she's sore, so she doesn't want to move. So but it's, like it's getting, I can't change her mindset now, but it's doing the work now so that doesn't happen, and I think
I think it's all about quality of life. It's all about quality, like that you can do what you want to do. And if you don't want to do anything, like if you don't want to travel the world or run around the block or whatever, but you just still want to be able to potter in your garden, but you want to be able to do, it's quality of life, I suppose. And
and it's reminding and I think that's what exercising, working on, because like working on your flexibility, your hips are tight, it's sore, it's not always easy, but it's also not easy when you can't move anymore.
No, that's right. But also all the challenges were good, but I think by putting an end date to something, think then I got slack because it was going to be finished.
But that's why we're looking at headset, as in, like it's got to be for life, and it's like, so, and we're looking at really, so, really knuckling down these habits, you probably do need extra accountability until it becomes so much more of a routine, I think obviously I've known you for a while, but I think it's you should be crediting yourself about how much you have improved in that, I know for a long time when you were younger, you did worry about looks and that stuff. And I think it's important to see how much you have, for you to see how much.
I did, and I always worried because I didn't like the way I looked. But I must admit, since having the breast reduction, I've had a different feel about myself, because now the rest of me is in proportion, and I think that looks okay. Like, that's all right. That's all right.
I look
It's
good.
just like, it's just, they were so big and I really hated them. So now they're gone, and what I've got is normal, and so the rest of me is normal. So that's how I feel. So I'm not worried about that anymore. So that's been a real positive.
Yeah. And I think, you know, when we talked about the time that you felt your best was when we did that 1 rep max. So that's all about the strength training. So I think it's looking at, you know, making sure you're like, well, I want to make sure I'm coming to, say, 3 weighted classes, you know, 3 that are focusing on that. And obviously being like, well, I'm lifting, you know, like, you know, the crux of what we need to do, but we need to be like, well, I need to make sure that I'm improving lifting heavier in my weights. And I would put the 3 weighted classes, and I would make sure that, you know, that we're really looking to increase your reps. So we could do a check-in every 4 weeks and saying in 4 weeks time, you know, like, I've been lifting this, you know, this amount in my classes, you know, how do we feel? Have we been able to go up? Have we not been able to? You know, and in all classes, you know, there's always a basic move: squat, chest press, you know. You know, skull crusher, you know, so side raise, you know, they're kind of all, they're always in there in some form. So we can make sure that there is a focus on on that, and making sure that because the thing as well is for longevity, which is what we're looking for. So reframing how we think about it. The most important thing, you already know that you have arthritis in your shoulder. So, you know, so your flexibility of the joint, not just the shoulder, every joint, you know, is going to improve what you can lift. But if we think about what's going to help the arthritis not stop us from doing things, is by building your muscle mass.
Muscle up,
So the more muscle mass you have, you know, it's going to help protect the joint, protect your bones, protect your joints against arthritis and anything else. So again, it's coming back to that why, and coming back to you know, what's going to help. You know, I always see it as, we've got this little reminder, like the body's giving you a little tip. You know, it's saying like, you know, my shoulders, I've got a little bit of arthritis in it, it's a little bit niggly. We can keep ignoring that, or we can go, okay, I need to really strengthen this up. You know, you know, I've got arthritis here, so it's more likely that I'm going to get arthritis somewhere else, you know. And so, but if we ignore it, the body will then remind us again and again until we listen. And generally it listens when we either really heard it, or, you know, so I just think it's start to listen to the little cues that your body's giving you, and then work with that. So going on that point, and when we talked about food, what I know that we've done stuff about your macros before. But I thought so it's really important. It's important to look at, you know, to look at your macros and look at getting that right balance of your protein, fats, and carbs. But because of, you know, like we talked about in our sheet that we sent us, we talked about, you know, wanting to lose weight around the middle, increasing your flexibility, increasing your energy levels, all of those things. I thought we should look at focusing a bit more on an anti-inflammatory style way of eating. So, you know, we have high inflammation. So the high inflammation can be the thing that causes that weight gain around the middle. It is also the that causes the sore joints. So, you know, and looking at putting the focus on, you know, like you said, lowering your blood pressure, you know, you're lowering your cholesterol, you know, lowering that inflammation, which is going to only make arthritis worse. So we could look at, you know, looking at foods that are going to fuel us, bit better that way. So I have some
Awesome.
I can send you on that, and then we can
That'd be awesome.
Look at making that, we still got to live your life. We still got to, but we can just make different choices and then see how that feels for your energy levels, see how that feels overall.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it's just looking at different foods that are going to just run better for. If you're looking at your lifestyle, think about what like improving flexibility, strength, and core type of stuff. So if you're like, I can't commit to coming to the class at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock because I've got this on, that like you can do things at home.
Yes, I know. My issue is if I go to class, or if I'm at home, I'm slacker. So but yes. Yeah.
It's just working out like with especially with flexibility, it's the more that it's like it's a daily, the more that we do it every day, the quicker it's going to improve type thing. It will always improve, but if you're like, well, I'm going to, your hips are tight, aren't they? So
very tight.
Even if we just put a home focus on hips, and just was like, I know you've set your habits up before and you've had your mat laid out and all of those things, but it's just been if I just choose, like, I'm going to do my best to make those, and in the strength classes, there's always some form of the hip, mobility and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's going, if I just did this, if I went, okay, I'm going to just focus on the hips and I'm going to do 5 minutes at home. It might not be as hard as you do in the gym, but maybe on the days that you don't, that you don't make a session, or on the weekends or something, like something you go, okay, well, I've still done that. And the more daily, the more that we work on that stuff daily, the more it will.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So I do stuff as soon as I get up because, because I always find with my day, this is just how my life runs, that I'm more likely to get something in the afternoon is going to crop up. So if I do it in the morning, it's done. And if I get any extra done, that's a bonus. So that's what works for me, but it's just finding it.
Yeah, I should get up in the mornings and do some flexibility exercise or something. Get up and do a couple of sun salutations and all that sort of Yeah.
And I can send you a video to follow, like something to follow that you could, you could do. But anything like that is just going to, because again, we go back to that why am I doing this? I'm doing this because of here. And when you lay in bed and you go, I can't bother getting up, then
I think it is about mindset for me. It's changing the mindset. To get up and do it.
And I was asking before, where do you think you're at with menopause?
Okay. I think I'm almost through. I still get hot flushes.
But have you stopped? You've had no period?
Oh yeah, no. But 16 months, I suppose.
So you'd be classed post menopause now. So you still just get some hot flushes,
overnight time.
And your sleep, has it got worse post menopause?
It's always been average, but it is worse. It's worse with getting to sleep. Like I don't go to sleep very easily. Once I'm asleep, I'll wake up a couple of times, but I can usually get back to sleep. But it's getting to sleep is the issue with me. I can lie there and so often I'll get back up again because I just haven't gone to sleep.
How many hours of sleep would you get a night?
Probably 7 to 8.
Oh yeah.
So usually in bed between 10 and 11, and then usually up 6, but maybe every second or third night I'm up for an hour. I might get back up again, maybe read a book or something. Because I can't get to sleep.
Because I guess 7 to 8 hours is what they recommend.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so maybe you're
Well,
not
that's 7
actually,
days probably of lying in bed. It's not full on sleep. It wouldn't be full. It's not full on sleep.
that's
Yeah.
right.
So I reckon
So how many hours would you actually
some
get?
nights are good. Some nights are good, and I might get a good 6 or 7 hours, but not straight. I'll wake several times. But other nights I could be awake for ages in bed, and 4 a.m, be awake for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not really a proper pattern at all.
So you haven't been able to work out a link with like
No, not food, not done. I don't drink tea and coffee, and I restrict. I have 1 cup of coffee a day and 1 cup of tea. That's it. I don't have anything of a night time. I drink loads more water than I ever used to, but nothing's. Yeah.
Do you still, so even though you're post-menopause, you'll still get some form of a cycle?
Oh yeah, I can tell, because I get I can tell when it's sort of, maybe some weeks are worse than others when I sleep, and I also get restless legs some weeks. Yeah, so I know that that's sort of like a bit of a cycle.
So you can link your bad sleeping with your cycle?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well that's
the worst parts of it would be, yeah. Some weeks are dreadful, other weeks are good.
Let's start monitoring that, right? And let's see if we can work a pattern out. So even if we get to a pattern and we can start to predict, because what we could look at doing is on those weeks that you're, I guess, in your cycle wise, or on the, someone that, somebody that's getting a period every month, roughly, as we look on a 28-day cycle, the first 2 weeks is more optimal. So when we're going to have more energy, we're going to feel more like exercising, all of those other things. We ovulate, and generally those 2 weeks from is when you might start to lack energy. And in this case, it looks like it's affecting your sleep. What we could start to do is, if we start to monitor it, you could be more mindful in those weeks when you're getting less sleep, you feel like shit, maybe you need to lift a lighter weight. Maybe you need to do more yoga, more gentle classes to get kind of your body in those. That doesn't mean you're weaker. It just means that you're listening to your body when you're doing that. In the weeks where you're feeling really good and you're getting more sleep, then that's the week that we're going to be really looking at lifting the heavier weight, really challenging yourself. So by the end of the 3rd set, that we're starting to shake because we've challenged our muscles. So I think when you can be kinder to yourself in that way, you'll actually see better as overall.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll chart something up and monitor. Whether I've had restless legs, or whether I got up during the night, whether I fell asleep properly. Yeah, I'll monitor it and see if there's a more of a pattern.
Yeah. So what I find with people, we can generally pick a pattern within 2 months. 3 months, pick a pattern. So because we can start to pick a pattern, and then we can work from there. Because for me, like monitoring my cycle, I was like, when people told me, I dismissed it because I was like, I don't get period symptoms, but so I dismissed it for so long. And then I started actually following my cycle and started to pay attention. And I realized I did have quite severe symptoms. But my personality is just push through it. So I just pushed through it. And, but then there was times where I could be actually, I do just need to rest, and that's okay. And you feel heaps better for it. So I think, when we're feeling like lethargic and, lacking energy, we could look at how your cycle's actually, because sleep, when we don't get enough sleep, there's a knock-off effect of everything. The other thing I wanted to think about is your common theme that comes up with you is the putting your family in front of you. So that's been that's been your, but I think it's just working out. It's either working out how you want that to flow for you. Like, because I think that's the thing that always derails you, but you're also not going to not do anything for your family.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that I have to learn to work around.
Yeah.
See, mate. Yeah. Yeah, it's something I have to work around, because I know my personality, and I won't change. So I just have to go, okay, today wasn't the best, let's move on, or how can I fix this? Because so much comes up all the time. Like every second it changes. So
but you would also hate it if the kids didn't call you.
That's it. Absolutely.
So
absolutely. So my personality, they'll take preference all the time. And that's how I don't want to feel any different, even though I want to do both. I want to be able to do both. So I work out how to do both. Yeah. Rather than,
it's just thinking of how to, it could be acceptance of.
Yeah.
Of, because it's because you're not going to say no, and
no matter how much I can, things get in the way, and they always do. So I just have to accept it and just go, okay, well, I can't do that, but I'll do this instead. Maybe I have to do an alternative rather than just go, well, I can't do anything. It's like, but I can do this, and look at it in a different way.
What's in your control,
Yes.
So in those circumstances, let's say you get called away for kids, well, food's always in your control, like 1 day or 2 days or 1 week of only getting in one session isn't going to, looking at the bigger picture, it's not going to kill you.
But okay, I can't get in a session, but once the kids are gone, okay, I can go for a walk, or I can, and that's what I have to look at. I have to look at, rather than just going, okay, today was wasted. Well, it's not. I just have to have an alternative.
Reframe
That's
it.
how I have to.
And again, we look at how we talk about mindset and how we think of things, instead of feeling like it's a bother. I know you don't think your family's a bother, but instead of, it's like, if you feel like it's holding you back or whatever, it's being like, no, I really love that my kids call me, and that,
I do. I love to be needed and be part. I do love all that. I do love all that, but I just need to do stuff for me too. And I have to put priorities, so we just have to work it out.
But like, it's the same, like the filling, that same thing, putting you as a priority is that filling your cup, but it's that thinking of, well, like the exercise, that's filling my cup, eating well, what's the other things that you can put it as well, so it doesn't feel like you're just giving everything and there's nothing.
Well, my family does fill my cup. They do fill my cup. Doing that for them always fills my cup. And then I do a lot of other stuff. Like I have a good social life, home balance and friends. So I do get a lot of stuff. So generally speaking, life is good. I really don't have any complaints, pretty fortunate. I just want to get this right.
But I think you're more right than where you think you are.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you're more, like you are consistent, and you do work around your family with your exercise. I think you are, like you said, what is achieving your health and fitness goal look like to you? So you said, waking up every day feeling refreshed and wanting to jump out of bed and go about my day. I do enjoy the gym sessions and always feel better when I finished. I want to be able to go to the gym and miss it if I don't. I want to have a full life and a strong body. So I really think you're kind of like, like when you were off for 7 weeks, you did miss it.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I was terrible, horrible. It was depressing, and
so I think you're more there.
I use the gym as a social thing for me too,
because
I don't work. So the people I see at the gym, they're like my work colleagues. So
I think you're more there than what you realize you are. But how does it sound that so we look at tweaking your food?
Yep.
I'll write this out and send this to you, but we're going to look at tweaking your food for looking for more anti-inflammatory style eating.
Yes.
We're going to look at that. We're going to look at starting to track your sleep and your cycle wise, if you notice any symptoms, and then we'll be able to see if we can work out a pattern from there. So that's going to take 2 months at minimum. Okay? That's going to, and then we're going to look at, we want to make 4 classes a week if you can, in a good way. And then just look at optimizing the strength classes. And look at them and trying to fit in the like those flexibility, those sessions that are the 5 to 6 classes, those sessions that Helena does with them, that's all that fundamental stuff that is that's for life stuff. So they are,
and funnily enough, they're probably one of my favorite classes, and I don't know, but they're fun. They're fun. So
like those classes are really getting those fundamental things, which is working towards your why. So even you did 2 strength, 2 of them.
I could probably at least do 3 classes and 2 of those.
So accountability wise, I want you to think about what you think will work for you. So we know you need more accountability, but I want you to think about what you think will work for you. I know a big change, like Kerry worked out she needed something every week. And that made a big change in her. But other people are like, they're fine with every month. Work out what works for you and we'll make that happen. So whether you need to check in every week, you need, but we don't want it to be overwhelming.
Maybe every couple of weeks, maybe it's just a quick chat every fortnight, but maybe once a month it's a better check-in.
Have a think and we'll work it out. It can be, I really like that, because I'm a pen and paper girl. I really like that sheet that we've had before that to fill out. You put your steps, your this, because I think you can see the holes in it. So whether you just fill the sheet out to your best ability with no pressure and you send that to me. So obviously we aim to do, say, 10 to 12,000 steps a day, so you can write that in there. The biggest thing is we don't want to give it a reason about us. We don't want to give it a reason to beat ourselves up. It's just information. So if we look at the sheet at the end of the week and we go, oh, I only did 5,000 steps, I only did 5,000 steps 3 days. Well, maybe, you know that we need to increase your, look at moving more. If we go, oh God, I only slept, 2 hours this many nights. Well, then, so then it gives you information of what you need to work on. Where, and there's the accountability of writing it down.
And then you can probably look at certain weeks and be explained why the consistency or inconsistency of the weeks. Okay.
The biggest thing is that there's no right or wrong, but it's also not using it as a reason to beat yourself up. Like it's
just a tool.
It's a tool to see where holes are, and you could, we could write on the back, like the grandkids were sick, everyone in the house got sick this week and I had to do this. So, or I found this really overwhelming this week, or, like it's can be more understanding. So we could look at, well, let's try that, fill that out and send that to me. And then we'll see how that goes, and we'll do a longer check-in in 4 weeks.
Perfect. All right. That's perfect.
Wicked. Cool.
All right. And you'll send me some stuff, anti-inflammatory. Foods. Okay.
So I'll send you some stuff on that. We'll just look at working from there. And And yeah, then I'll send you the sheet and everything, and we'll look at working from there and see how things are going. Because you could go in after a week or after 2 weeks and go, oh, this is not working, let's change this around as well.
Yep.
Nothing is set in stone.
No. Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Okay, I'll get that stuff to you, and then we'll get started. So how was that? How beautiful is Lyndall? She is a very special person. She has lots of love, and that for her grandkids and her kids and her family and, her friends. And she's always juggling everything and putting them all first. So she's a very busy person, but we will be able to get something in place for her and get her back to feeling fabulous. So what I wanted to see, what you may have taken from this, is I just wanted to go over how lots of us tend to underestimate how where we're at, or how good we are, how good we're actually doing. We always tend to lean towards the negative. We always tend to not, it doesn't seem cool to say that we're actually doing quite well, because I don't know, not many people do. So we tend to lean towards saying, yeah, I still need to be improved, or I'm still working on that. Maybe because we've always been that way. But like I said, she does tend to underestimate that she's actually doing better than she thinks. So the thing that I really, really wanted to talk about is about thinking about how we talk about things and changing our perceptions. So a lot of times Lyndall felt that she was always giving up, she was missing out on things for her family, but in the same respect, she wouldn't want to not do things for them. So it's just looking at reframing how we're thinking about it. And sometimes when we're feeling stuck or we're struggling with things, it can be that real simple reframe that can actually change everything. And you've just changed how you're thinking about the situation, and you've not actually changed your exercise or your routine. And, I think a lot of us are in a very similar situation where we maybe just need to reframe how we think about it. For me, lots of times I think, like maybe with the kids or maybe with something else, I get frustrated or I think about that. But then I always remember that, they're not going to want me for forever. There's going to be a time they don't want me and I'm going to miss them. And I really try to remind myself of that all the time. I guess I was lucky enough to have a mum that I was training, and she kid finished school and then she just felt lost, and she would come to me crying for weeks and weeks. She wasn't sure what to do, and she wasn't, and I never forget how she was and how she felt. And I thought, I'm going to feel this way about my kids one day. So it's something that I remind myself of when I feel frustrated or when I feel like I just need some space or any of those things. I think there is going to be a day where I'm going to miss this. There's going to be a day where I want them to spend time with me and they don't want to spend time with me. So I choose to lap everything up while they have it. And I choose to make things work. So what I want you to think about is if you resonated with any of the things Lyndall said, if you thought maybe sometimes you might feel similar ways, I just want you to think about reshaping how we think about what we're doing. And, the same thing is people who say also struggle. So reshaping what we're thinking about, if we're thinking about, if we've got frustrations with feeling like we have to do this for our children or we don't have enough time or any of those things, but also reshaping of how you think about exercise and exercising in general. Because I know lots of people sometimes feel that they're not motivated enough to get started, or they're not motivated enough to do exercise. But the thing is, what is the alternative? So if you exercise, not only moving, it makes you feel good. Obviously, it's going to tone and strengthen your muscles, and but not only that, exercise in my eyes and how I believe exercise is, it's the thing that's preventing you from being sick. It's the thing that's keeping you strong. It's keeping your bones strong. Your muscles are protecting your bones. It's a thing that can keep you from being sick. And if you ever did happen to get sick or whatever, the more muscle mass you have, it's a protective layer. So we just have to reframe how we think about it. Exercising is a thing that's going to keep you moving well. well. And it's just finding an exercise and a routine that works for you. So I just want to refresh but really think about how we reframe about things. I get it. Lots of times we can't be bothered, but we just need to remind ourselves of our why and what you're doing it for. My why is the same as Lyndall's, which is all about aging. I want to age well. I want to be able to move well as I get older, and I want to make sure that I can lead a good quality life. And in my belief is leading a good quality life will be the fitter and the stronger that I am. And I believe whatever life throws at me, I'll be able to cope with that stuff better because I've got fitness behind me. It doesn't mean I need to run 10Ks a day, or it doesn't mean, I exercise in ways that I like, but I keep my body moving. I look at the mobility of my joints. I keep my muscle mass up, working on my strength, and I work on my cardio. It doesn't take up hours a day. I work it around my kids. I suit my lifestyle, and that's what I want for everyone else. So just rethink about how we are reframing about how we think about exercise, how we're thinking about maybe some of our struggles, because maybe sometimes they might be our struggles, but actually the alternative of not having them, or not having your family call for you or ask for you, or not having your kids around, the alternative is actually not what we want as well. So it just is nice to take a think and see how you feel. So we will keep you updated with how Lyndall is going and where she's at with her goals in the future. So look out for that. And if you do want to be interviewed, and to get a plan set for you, and if you do want to be part of that, then you can check on our website and you can put in an application to do so. And I look forward to hearing from you if you are going to apply. So I'm going to love you and leave you today, and I will catch us all next week. And make sure, if you think this podcast would help anyone else, if you share it onto them, and I look forward to hearing what you think.